You guys are in for a real treat. Melissa Wood has over 20 years of experience assisting students applying to colleges from coast to coast. She's locally based right here in Austin, and she's also a school counselor. She has experience assisting students that really just don't know what they want to do, and even those that are aiming high for schools like MIT, Stanford, Chapel Hill, the University of Texas, and A&M, just to name a few. And get ready to hear what her superhero power is. Enjoy this introduction to Melissa Wood, our college consultant associate. All right, I'm really excited to have Melissa with us. She is a ninja when it comes to advising, guiding students on majors, careers, and really helping them to tell their story and highlight their strengths. Why don't I give you the chance just to kind of talk a little bit about yourself? Tell me a little bit about your experience with advising high school students and why did you even get into doing something like this? Because it's hard. It can be really, really hard to be in this profession.
Right. Well, thanks, Dale. Appreciate the opportunity to share a little bit about my story with our scholars and our families. Um, Melissa Wood, I have 23 years in education. I've spent my entire career in that public education at a large in a large school district in the North Austin area. I have 15 years of college and academic advising under my belt, having served my school community as a college and career transition coordinator, and now as a licensed school counselor. As far as the advising piece, working with my students on selecting their high school courses and how they want to meet their college and career path and their goals is kind of what I do daily. I've been doing this for 15 years in the field and helping our juniors and seniors through those course offerings and then leading into their college planning as well. I've got a great deal of knowledge in the college application and admissions processes for the great state of Texas and for other institutions out of state. And again, having worked with the families on selecting the best college and the right college fit for their student is kind of what fills my cup daily. Well, there's freshmen coming in and kind of walking through the plan and seeing what that outline looks like, or getting those juniors who really have no clue about the application process. It's the fun part of the job, right? And the things that I enjoy doing on a daily basis.
So it's safe to say that you have experience even outside of Texas, really with colleges and universities, not just UT and A&M, but with other schools, Chapel Hill, Clemson, the UCs, MIT. So you're obviously experienced with that, given over 20 years of experience. But you've really helped a range of scholars applying to college, not just those that are aiming for the super selectives or those that are really applying to really awesome schools that might be in their backyard. You've definitely experienced what is one of the more common mistakes that you see high school students make when they're, starting to look at planning for college and families are getting involved? What is it? What's one of the more common mistakes that you see?
So, a great question. There's actually a couple that I see. I would say the most common mistake that I see is students who want to major in an area or a field of study where they have little to no experience. They've not taken a course. They have no exposure to that field of study. So say they want to major in business or engineering or computer science, yet they haven't taken a single course, or they haven't had an experiential learning opportunity outside of the classroom. And so coming in, this is where I love to have that conversation. Hey, what are we looking at here? And then let's talk about the elective choices that you still have available to you in high school before you're applying for college, right? What summer programs can we get involved in? And then the other mistake that I do see is that students tend to apply to and want to attend a specific college or university, all without having done a single college visit. And so getting on that college campus, learning more about the opportunities that they have available, and it's really the family's opportunity to interview the university. Let's see what the campus culture is like. Is this the right fit for the student? Are the parents going to feel comfortable leaving their child there for 4 years? Is this the right financial decision for our family? And really, it's just gaining all of those insights that you don't experience having not stepped foot on the college campus. And so
Definitely.
this is a big decision for families, and I strongly encourage all of my families, get on the college campus. There's nothing more important than that, simply because colleges are going to promote the best pictures and put those out on the web, but it's something totally different once you step foot on campus and you're able to know, yes, this is the right place for me, or let's take a different direction.
Yeah, and I feel like social fit is the most underestimated quality when it comes to applying to college. A lot of students are just kind of pulling names out of a bag, or they're crowdsourcing their way through this, and they're applying to the same short list of colleges that everybody else in their high school is applying to. One of the biggest reasons why you need to tour a college or university is because you're going to have essays that you got to write. They're called short answered questions. How are you going to really write a compelling argument to get into one of those few precious seats if you don't have a personal connection to that university? You don't know about the labs, the faculty members, the really cool, quirky traditions that make that university really tick. And so, touring colleges and universities is part of collecting research to help you be successful with those essays. Now, almost everybody that we work with, they've got the two big state flagships on their list, the University of Texas and Texas A&M. Can you tell me, to somebody that's got these schools out there, what are some of the key differences between these schools? I think that there's a lot of misconceptions out there. So to that family that's watching this and they've got that scholar's got both of these schools, what are some distinctions? What is it that folks need to be aware of if you've got these schools on the list?
Right. So having been born and raised in the state of Texas, those are the two universities that come up the most around the family table during the holidays, especially with the rivalries that are between the two universities of UT Austin and Texas A&M. So a couple of differences that between the two schools. So UT is the most selective public university in the state of Texas, having a 26% acceptance rate for the freshman class. And that's been pretty standard for the last few years, where students who are in the top 6% of their graduating class will have an automatic admission to the university. However, they may not necessarily get into their major area of choice. So for UT Austin, the admissions team is really looking for fit to major, which should also be a part of the expanded resume, what the students have done to set themselves apart from the rest when it comes to coursework, clubs and organizations, along with any additional internships or outside learning that they may have participated in. Now for Texas A&M University, they currently have a 63% acceptance rate, with students in the top 10% having automatic admission into the university. And that's where the bulk of it comes from as far as the acceptance rate. But for A&M, the admissions team is looking at students' academic rigor, their GPA, class rank, test scores, additional successes that they've had in specific subject areas, along with that demonstrated interest. So demonstrated interest for A&M is highly considered when the admissions committee is reviewing applications. How many functions have students attended? Did they respond to emails? Have they done the little meet and greet check-ins when on campus during those in-person tours, or when the admissions advisor is at the high school campus? all of these things the applicant should do, especially if A&M is high on their priority list.
Definitely. And I think that the stats that you just recited, while that's the overall acceptance rate for the university, that's an inflated number. Because if you think about it, for the University of Texas, 75% of the students they admitted had a 100% chance of gaining admission into the university. So that number, that acceptance rate, which I think you said is about 26%, that's overall. If you're not part of the auto admit, then you have a much lower chance of getting admitted in the University of Texas. But this is really where we come into play, is really getting our scholars excited about all of the colleges that they're applying to, not just the super selectives or the reaches. What happens, Melissa, if you don't know what you want to go into? Maybe you don't know about a career or a major. How do you really assist scholars with finding out what they want to study, and what kind of inventories do you help them? Because there's probably somebody watching this right now that has no clue, and maybe they don't even want to go to UT or A&M.
So another good question, thank you, because this was part of my primary role for 9 years as the college and career transition coordinator. First, when it comes to exploring what students want to do and they don't have a clue, I ask them about the courses that they've taken in high school. What has kind of lit their fire? What have they enjoyed in high school? And then we kind of go from there, asking, what do you want to do? What do you want to be when you grow up? And if they're like, I don't know, I have no idea, I just took classes, then I have them get into their Naviance account. We are a Naviance district, and so utilizing some of those interest inventories that are included in Naviance, like the career interest profiler, along with the career cluster finder. And those are two great resources for scholars to be able to hone in where their interests lie. Now, some other inventories that I've used in the past include the Keirsey temperament sorter, the MAP test, and the O.NET interest profiler. And these are 3 public domain interest inventories that help scholars match their personality with potential careers, and then major areas of study that would be best suited for the scholar. And then from these inventories, I'm able to help kind of guide the student through their course selection process, going back to that academic advising, and then ultimately towards their college or university that's going to best meet their area of interest, paired with their academic record or their transcript.
Awesome. Great. So while exploring careers and majors and helping them really hone in on what they're truly intellectually curious about, activity building becomes critical, especially when you're applying to selective colleges or universities. You've got to be able to have that opportunity to really reflect, on the experience that you have for the intended field of study. Can you talk a little bit about how you assist with activity building?
So when it comes to working in the Common Application and looking at the activities list, it's more than simply listing off the different things or activities that a student has participated in high school. The admissions committees are looking for dedication, commitment, drive, and leadership in this activities list. So when assisting my students with their activities, we look at what have they participated in, both inside and outside of the classroom. How long have they participated in the activity? Have they had any type of leadership role or position within that activity? And then have they received any awards or accolades? And then I kind of help them determine, all right, what are we really going to focus on, right? It's better to have a really good activities list that isn't just surface level. We're looking really at the depth in which the student has participated in those activities that really counts. So we're looking at 8 to 10 activities, and then what's the description? What did I do? How did I participate in those activities? really looking at those different key concepts, right? The dedication, commitment, drive, and leadership.
I said that you were a ninja for a reason because you have experience not only with in-state but out-of-state colleges, assisting scholars with exploring careers and majors, actually helping them practically with the application. You even used to be a band director at one point in time as well, like a whole range of things you've done. So, fun question. Let's say you have a superpower. What is your superpower in life?
I'm not sure if this is a superpower, but I'm a very detailed oriented person. So you alluded to my band directing days and having to move a small company from point A to point B, navigating through all of the drill and how to get them, to being successful, from planning to organizing and communicating, really just showing up for my kids each step of the way. That has really drawn out my abilities to be detail oriented, and everybody who works with me understands and knows their role and appreciates that attention to detail.
I think that's awesome because something that's so important is that you provide information to families so they can make the right decisions for themselves. That you are a source of inspiration and challenge, but confidence. You have to be confident as you go through this process. And knowledge really is power. I mean, how do you know what to do if you don't have enough information? So I love that your superpower is your attention to detail. So that's great. Well, thanks so much for taking this opportunity to connect and meet with possible families that may be interested in collaborating with you. They would definitely be fortunate to be on your winning team. Thanks again, Melissa. Bye bye.